He was curious about her as well, for he'd never spoken to a fairy before. The two became friends, and he slowly began to trust her. He showed her how to be kind instead of cruel, and how a man should behave with a female. For the first time in her life, she was loved and respected, comfortable and secure. But, as with most things in life, the happiness was short-lived. Her parents had her followed one night and learned of her affections. They refused to accept the human boy and threatened to cast her out of their home, to leave her penniless, and to kill the young man. She ran to find him, to protect the boy she loved from the wrath of her father and the harshness of her mother. After all, she would gladly accept such a fate. A life of struggle and hardship, a life without fine things and palaces, a life of hunger and strife. For him. But the hearts of humans were more fickle than she realized. And all hearts lie, to themselves and to others. She found him behind his barn, kissing another girl. A human girl. It felt as though he had plunged his fist into her chest and removed her heart, shattering bone and tearing sinew and arteries, and all the things that kept her alive. He never loved her at all. He didn't even know what love was. But she did, and she never wanted to feel it again. As she walked home to beg her parents' forgiveness, she healed her broken, bloodied heart and turned it to stone. No male, human or fae, would ever break her again. And she would waste no more of her infinite existence on such a silly thing as love. Her brutality from that day forward would become the stuff of nightmares. Arabella. They say it's quietest in the moments before the most destructive storms hit. But what they don't tell you is that the worst storms happen within homes. Father's mood went from irritated to furious when he discovered his last bottle of liquor was as empty as his pockets. He cursed, searching through and rattling the glass bottles that littered his room in every shape and color of the rainbow. Oren had barely slept after our fight last night, his eyes still red and bleary. His face was mottling, turning an angry red hue that he and Father shared. My brother gently pushed his cup of boiled water across the table. If he hadn't knocked our basket of food into the water last night, we'd be eating eggs right now, and his mood might not be so sour. The legs of his chair scraping loudly across the floor were the only warning Father got before my brother exploded. The muscles in my back tightened uncomfortably as the two shouted. Oren ducked as he entered Father's room, taking the fight directly to him. But Father was stronger than he expected. The wily man shoved Oren out of the bedroom, slamming the door closed behind him and quickly locking the door. The impact of the door caused our only mirror, the one thing we had left of our mother, to shatter from the impact when it fell off the wall and hit the floor. One reflective shard slid beneath the door, as if it were a sharp fingernail pointing at the ones who broke her. It pointed at Oren. It pointed at me. It reflected the pathetic life we were living, and in the same moment challenged me to find another, to take the shard and carve a new one out of the earth and air.